All right. Good evening, Super Kicking It with Steven fans for your special Wednesday night edition. I got Greg over there. We got Stephen A right here. We're ready for Rumble, and then we're on the fast lane to WrestleMania. Really good time of the year. We got Beach Break happening tonight, so we'll probably be off of here before that gets started, so we can catch that live or catch it on, later on, whatever you're going to do. So, middle of the week, Greg. Anything going on? I know we're used to talking at the end of the week. How's the middle of the week treating you?
Yeah, so far so good, man. Been a lot of action going on from this past weekend up to now. Um, that Chiefs game, holy crap! I'm still not happy about that result, but good grief, what a game! And enjoyed Raw this week. Still getting through 2.0 right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough sledding with 2.0, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Beach Break big time tonight, especially Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy lights out. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
the best match of the year. I have no problem
Yeah.
predicting that at all.
I'm guessing that made events. I would assume.
Oh, absolutely, it's got to.
Because I think the other big one is what Jericho with Proud and Powerful versus who is he going against? Oh, there was some.
2.0 and Garcia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So no one AW though, Greg. That could main event because I what now would it surprise us if they open up with Adam Cole and Orange
No,
Cassidy?
I would hate that. And I'm thinking they get giving it the same treatment as they did um, with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa because you know
That's true.
unsanctioned lights out
Yeah,
match.
that should
You
be a
have the
thing.
rest of the card, and then
Yeah,
this is uh, the unauthorized, unapproved
that's true.
portion of
Yeah.
the match. So we turn out the lights.
Just
Anything that happens after this is not on
yeah.
us.
I mean, it's just weird
So
because the way that they've been booking some, we keep saying this match should have been first, and this, so I don't. It
yeah,
was I don't know. That's why I'm like, would we already put it? Because it does seem like they try to put a little more of their best stuff first, and then save
yeah.
it towards the end. And I did have to laugh. Craig had said CM Punk speaks, and I'm like, okay, guys, like he's here for 3 months, like or two, whatever. We don't need to know like speaking for the first time at Beach. Like, okay, we get it. But anyways, but we are here to talk up the Rumble, so let's just get it going. I was listening, Greg. So we're going to start. First, obviously, we'll work our way to the Rumble matches. So hopefully, nothing changes. I don't envision, maybe there's a kickoff show, whatever. I don't think there'll be any matches added, but it's funny, Greg. I was listening to Vince Russo, which is probably not the best thing to be listening to. He said this match is the
Yeah.
easiest to predict, and he doesn't know how anyway that Edge and Beth Phoenix don't go over. But obviously, we've been talking back and forth a lot, Greg. I don't see, so I'll say first, my prediction is Miz Maurice, because I don't see any way they don't go over, and maybe Edge is part of the Rumble later on. It just seems, Edge and Beth have been getting the better of this feud for the most part, it feels like. So, and we got Edge getting the win over the Miz, and this still leaves it open. So if Miz and Maurice go over, you can still have Edge playing up, well, you can't beat me by yourself, and still have some sort of stipulation attached to that. So part of me hopes that Miz and Maurice go over just to kind of put it in Vince Russo's face, but he'll probably make some up, some bro thing up and say he really didn't say that because, that's what people like to do. But I'm going to predict officially, Greg, Miz and Maurice go over. Maybe the brick gets involved somehow behind the referee's back. I feel like Maurice is going to go over Beth just because they've both been involved now. And then you could split them off and do one off, an elimination chamber between those two. I mean, you could maybe do a Mania match, Greg, but I don't think you will. I think maybe a Raw match, kind of involve both of them there. Now that, Beth is pretty much free to do whatever. So I'm going all in on Miz and Maurice picking up the win. Like I said, I think Maurice is going to go over Beth in this match. How about yourself?
I'm going to go opposite. I think Edge and Beth are going to take it. When you look at back at it, they've each taken turns, one up and the other, and Maurice and Miz have the. Well, I'm just going to say they had the last lap, the whole brick episode, but we just had a Raw Monday and did the whole business with the
The
security
birth.
guards and the birthday. Um, so it seems to be going back and forth, and each one are getting the better of the other week in, week out. Um, the big thing is, are we going to end it here, which makes sense for Edge to win? Um, and if you do, what does Edge do going for
Yeah.
the rest of the road to WrestleMania? So I hope it doesn't end up with him and Miz being in a WrestleMania program. So I don't want to drag that storyline out that long. So I think that for those reasons that we're going to cap it off here. Because nobody wants to see Maurice in the ring as a wrestler
Yeah, that's true.
beyond maybe one match or whatever.
Hmm.
There's no point in it. Beth is a lot more legitimate, and if Miz had a more um, competitive partner, you know, in Maurice's role, it may make more sense, but he doesn't. So I think this is the blow off, and we end up with Edge and Beth going over.
Here's a prop bet, Greg. Will Beth and Edge hit the 3D on Miz in this match? And by the way, what is with everyone wanting to hit the 3D all of a sudden? Is
Right.
this just to like piss off Bold Ray because he had those comments about Moxley, and they're like, "Well, F it, we're just gonna put it in his face." I'm like, I mean, is this trying to get Bully Ray back in WWE maybe for another run? I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting that I mean the Usos, it makes sense for them to hit it. And then when Edge and Beth hit, I was like, wait, that looks like that looks like the 3D. And then I thought somebody on AEW hit it as well. I could be wrong, but it felt like, maybe I'm just, but it's just an interesting. So the prop bet will be, Greg, will Edge and Beth hit the 3D on Miz?
Hmm. Yeah, I was noticing that 3D thing too, and I was wondering if it's one of those cases where, you know, they gifted or pass on the move to
Yeah,
a current group of stars, like the Usos, like you said,
which
who
is
it makes
fine.
sense for. Um, Maybe Randy Orton is passing on the RKO to Riddle.
Yeah,
Examples like that. Triple H,
yeah.
gifted the pedigree over to Seth Rollins. Uh, Ric Flair
But
gifted the figure four. But this, with the whole 3D, you wonder what the backstory is, like you were saying. So, um, and why is everybody doing it? So I think that was just a weird
coincidence.
coincidence.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I was betting on that prop, I would say no,
Okay.
no 3D, but maybe some other type of um,
Tag team
tag
maneuver.
team moved over. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe uh, Doomsday device
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
something along that line. 'Cause
Especially if
I just,
Beth is holding like Miz, because
yeah,
Beth is. Yeah, I could. Yeah, and I'd be fine with that. You feel like something. They might do something because I mean it is telling that they hit that tag team tandem move on
hmm
Monday night, so you feel like that's going to come play a part. So we're split on that one. How about this one, Greg? I'll let you go first. You can kind of let your thoughts flow on it. Becky Lynch against Dewdrop. We got the Scottish against the Irish. 15, whatever, 20 years in the make, probably about 15 years in the making, I would assume, for both of them about, time in the ring. Have
Sure.
at it, Greg. What do you think? Who are we going with?
I'm loving the way they're building up Dewdrop. Um, she's looking tough. She's looking, strong, and she's holding her own in those segments against Becky. And I really, really, really want to call her as the winner, but I don't see
But
her taking the title right here.
yeah,
I think this qualification win is the way we go with this one,
Hmm.
and that way we can continue the storyline, um, and you cast that doubt into fans' minds and Becky's minds if she can really beat her, and it puts over Dewdrop super huge.
Hmm.
So I think Dewdrop wins, but she doesn't win the belt.
So that, well, yeah, and I'm going all Becky. I think like I've said a little bit, this is like a trial for Dewdrop. Kind of see where she's at. Can she handle? I'm sure she can handle it. She's been in title matches in NXT UK. I think she was in a couple for the women's title there.
Yeah.
But this is on the big stage, and I think it's all Becky. I don't. I think it's kind of one and done. And then we see where we go into WrestleMania season. Um, I don't always have prop bets, Greg, but here we go on this one. Manhandle slam on Dewdrop. Does it happen?
um, I think the first attempt and failure of the manhandle was just to, for us and put
To
in the
save it
fans'
for
minds, can
now.
she hit it? Um, so I think she will, just in the sense of she could end up executing it like off a rope,
Yeah.
while she's on a rope or whatever, um, some type of variation. And
Doesn't necessarily win with it.
yeah, so if I was to, I would say yes on that prop.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like she'll hit it and not win with it and have to do, like a submission, maybe her submission to kind of let Dewdrop, tap out, unfortunately. But like we said, I think, it's still good that we kept this one on one. You still
Yeah.
had Liv, you still had Bianca out there. It feels like one of those two probably should be safe for Mania or possibly someone else.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think this is good. It's a good test for Dewdrop to kind of see where she's at, though, as far as this big moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about this one, Greg? Brock, Bobby, 20 years in the making, whatever it is, WWE Championship. We bounce with you first, so we'll go back to me. I'm going to
Yep.
call it, Greg. I'm going to say Lashley. I think Lashley picks up the win because I'm going to have
Oh.
Lesnar in the Rumble match. I think Lesnar's going to
Oh.
show up there because you got the Lesnar Reigns thing. I feel like we got to get to that somehow. So, and I think Lashley makes more sense kind of leading the Raw brand. He's done it already. I don't know who faces him at Mania yet. I haven't got that far, but that might be a fun Saturday show. Last call, we can kind of fantasy book some matches that we think. But I don't know it. I know Lesnar just won it. It feels like he just won it, but I don't know. It feels like people have brought up maybe Roman could cost Lesnar the match here. But it feels like it makes more sense for Lashley to hold the Raw title heading into Mania season. So I'm going to call the upset. I mean, it's probably an upset,
Yeah.
but I also have a reason why I'm putting Lesnar, as you could tell, in the Royal Rumble. So Lashley's my winner, Greg. How about yourself?
All right. I'm Team Brock all the way, man.
Yeah.
I see your point, and in the end, it's going to have to pivot back to Lesnar and Reigns, you think.
Yeah.
However, they are doing two-night WrestleMania, so um, a great capstone is going to be able to put, Lesnar as the main event on night one and Reigns on the main event of night two. I mean, you got the
And
two
that's what
biggest
yeah.
cards, the two biggest
Yeah.
needle
Stars.
movers, to steal Roman Reigns' phrase,
Yes.
uh, one for each night. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be the reason for keeping them apart.
Mm-hmm.
However, would a Lesnar Reigns, kind of winner take all thing be another road to go? So there's that. If Lashley doesn't win here, how else do you get Reigns and Lesnar get together? So
Yeah.
that's the question. Um, So it's intriguing storyline wise because the Lesnar Reigns thing is not over, but I can't take Lashley over Lesnar.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I'll be a little surprised, but not surprised if he does win. I'd rather see this in the cage instead of in the wrestling ring. But
Yeah.
um, in the way of Brock's been acting, kind of dismissive of Bobby. He's playing up more the heel than the baby
Mhm.
face. But when it's go time, Brock's bringing it, and he's going to have a seek and destroy mission in mind. So um, I love it. Battle of the Titans probably going to be my favorite match, and I got to stay with Lesnar.
Where do we think this match falls in the night card? Do you think we open the night with this, or would that be too
Mm,
much?
it would be a great way to kick off the night. That I'll give you that.
I just don't know where.
Um,
It's hard to figure out like what it can't. I guess I'm too old school. Like one of the Rumble matches should end the night,
right.
but with Reigns and with Lesnar, does one of those matches somehow end the night?
No, the
No.
Rumble's
Okay.
going to end the night, no doubt about it. So
Yeah,
it's just a matter of which championship match starts the night.
that's true.
So um, you
Maybe
know,
Roman and Seth kicks off the night,
I would like that, but the
and then
more I
this
think
could go
about
in.
it,
I wonder if this could go in the middle, like or maybe because I'm pretty much putting Lesnar in the Rumble, so I need some downtime. Like you can't have it before the night,
yeah,
before the Royal Rumble, because then Lesnar's not being in the Rumble. That's just too close. I'm sure stranger things have happened, but it just wouldn't make much sense for that. So I'll let you. Yeah, I'll let you decide where you think it might fall.
um, I like your reasoning for it, but I think it'd be better to start with Roman and Seth
Yeah,
and then put this right before the Rumble match because if Lesnar loses, the Rumble match starts and you still have pissed off Lesnar come out, destroy somebody, take his spot,
yeah,
and enter
that's
himself
true.
into the Rumble. So, we just had the big moment with this match, and Lesnar loses. Maybe MVP helped him cheat or whatever, and he's still pissed off, and that would be reason for him to come in and mow down everybody.
Yeah,
So I think that would be great.
yeah.
So
Now
I'll
that
put it in the
we've
middle.
talked, and now that we've talked, yeah, I feel like Roman and Seth is probably a good kickoff. They'll pull the AW card and be like, "Well, this might be our best match to throw out there, so we'll just throw it out now."
Yeah.
For Seth and Roman. So, speaking of which, oh wow, look at that segue! Hey, I kind of almost forgot I had that next, but that's okay. Um, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Usos barred from ringside. Solo Sikoa is not from ringside though, right, Greg? He could. No,
That's what I
it's
was
too
thin.
it's a little too soon for him though. He's still got Boa. He's still got Boa down there. Well, I guess they did finish that off last night, but we'll have you have it at first, Greg. Who do you got?
Uh, I don't see how Roman loses here.
Yeah,
Um, I want Seth to win, but they've done too good a job of playing up the fact that Roman has never beat him, and so this is probably gonna be that
call
moment where
Roman.
he
Yeah,
does. And I think solo score could be the tipping point because with no Usos there, and then you have the third Uso, you know, in the mix, he could be the one that comes and ruins it for Seth. And hey, it wasn't the Usos, but you got a third twin now, and he's the one that comes in and a hood or something.
I was gonna say you
So
could
you
do it
get a
like a masked figure, and not even reveal him. Still maybe have some storyline to play out with it. Now that you're
right,
going that route.
and then you have the Usos on the stage and this guy in the ring, and it's like, okay, it's not the Usos, so who is it?
Yeah.
So I could definitely see this as being a moment where, Solo gets finally put into the mix and add it to the Bloodline storyline.
Should that be our prop bet? Will Solo be involved in this match? Or did you have
I
any? Do you have any side bets that you think on this one, Greg?
uh, I
I think
definitely think
that's
there'll be some interference, so that's probably the best one
yeah.
for sure.
I'm going all Roman. We got our boy Dan joining us. He said it's the Rumble, baby. Glad to see Dan in here.
Hey,
Making a little appearance there. The chairman of the board, as it were. So good to
yes,
see him in
sir.
there. Yeah, this is all Roman. Like we said, I think it's gonna be a really good match, though. And it is too damn bad we can't get Moxley somehow involved. Because all three of these guys are such on a different level now, Gray. It
Yeah.
would be awesome to see. Oh well, we got Damon in here too, man. This is a packed house in
Hey,
our chat room.
everybody's turning
Glad
out. What's up?
I guess we better be on our best behavior with the two bosses in the chat. But yeah, I like the side bet of Will Solo be involved and, like you said, in a hooded figure. Maybe he unveils himself right at the end, celebrates with the Usos. Because the Boa match last night kind of felt like an end for him. He overcame Boa. He had the face, the face burned off and all that. So I'd like to see him involved. In there, he could do some bounce back and forth with
Yeah,
it.
and he'll turn up on the Rumble tonight, and there won't be a mark on him.
Yeah,
So
of course. That would yeah.
they'll they'll take
He
that for
can't be
granted.
he can't be Malachi Black and still have a dead eye from 3 years ago. So yeah. Well, I think we need to hit this first.
There's only one thing left to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Look at the production value we have tonight for you, folks.
Holy crap,
I know, right? That producer is just doing an awesome job.
man!
Oh, David said he's getting some football talk in. Oh, and we definitely join in for some football talk here and there. So
This.
I think we got the Dukes of football right on after us soon this evening. So you have to tune over to that. I believe 7:30-ish, but they could correct me if I'm wrong. Or 7-ish. Definitely let me know what's going on there. So, Greg, here we go. 30 women Royal Rumble. So that's what I'll let you do. You could pick Final Four, and then you could pick your winner.
All
and
right.
then we'll do maybe a side bet of like who might be the surprise, entrant that you have out there, if that makes sense. Really putting you on the spot here, I know. So Final Four, and then we'll do the winner. Do you want to go first, or do you? Well, I went first on. Oh no, you. I'll let you have this one since I'm talking. So Final Four, Greg, and then your winner, and then we'll do side bets of who is our surprise women.
All right. Final Four. I'll take Charlotte. I'll take Mickey James.
Okay.
I'll take Lita.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take Bianca.
Okay. So Bianca, Lita, Mickey, and Charlotte.
Yep.
Who you got winning? Charlotte?
No. As
Bianca?
intriguing as the whole pick your challenger storyline is may be, I don't like it because Charlotte being Charlotte, they should go for the lowest hanging fruit and just give herself a day off pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I don't see it for Charlotte. Lita's talked about going for one more run, and she would be fun to see in the title match at WrestleMania. People would really love it. So I love her in that mix. Same for Mickey, but with her being Impact champion, I don't see her in the main event at WrestleMania, but making a strong showing, um, worth her while. So definitely part of the final four. So for those reasons, I'm going to take Bianca and give her another shot
Back
at
to
the big
back.
moment, back to back.
And we haven't had a
There's been a
back to
couple
back in a
guys.
while.
I know there's been a couple guys who have done it, but no female has done it yet. So
Yeah.
um, I'll call her the winner of the final four.
All right. My final four is, since I had this all thought out, Greg, I think Bianca's a good final four. So I'm going to put her in there. And I feel like Charlotte is somehow going to make her way there. I'm trying to, I feel like there's always this underdog. And I almost want to go with Shotzi just to kind of see where she's at there. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
And here's my surprise, Greg. Ronda. I think Ronda Rousey. There's a lot of smoke happening with her name,
I
and
know.
I feel like she's winning it. Because if
I
she's
know.
in it, Greg, she's got to win it. Like I hate, that I know she hasn't been on TV, but if she's in it, she's got to win it. And because I see her and Becky as a better
Mm-hmm.
match than Bianca and Becky, which I hate. I did pause there, Greg, because I hate to do that to Bianca.
Yeah.
But if Ronda's not there, Bianca makes perfect sense because I think you got to do the one-on-one match and really, have that out. But Damon makes up. He brought up the good point too. She just dropped the baby, and I'm sure she's got herself. I mean, she's a farm girl. So, which Greg, this is a totally random note. Have you noticed how many women own a farm in WWE? Like, it's kind of crazy. It's Liv Morgan, Sarah, obviously, Logan, Rowe.
Yeah.
Naya has a farm, which I thought was the weirdest thing ever. Ruby has a farm. Who else? There was somebody else I was surprised, but I'm like, what is with these, like Liv, especially, being this Jersey girl and, being all about her, apparently, I guess they like the idea of sustaining, sustained living and living off the land. But anyway, so Ronda, Bianca, Charlotte, and Shotzi will be my final four. Because I see a lot of people running with Bailey, Greg. Do we think Bailey shows up? Because I feel like she's not quite, I've just still been seeing her get back in ring shape. So I can't see her being ready yet.
I agree. I think she's more of a SummerSlam participant.
Big match, yeah.
Yeah, so I think now is too soon, but
Yeah.
definitely around SummerSlam time. But
Damon brings that up. Her husband, Rhonda's husband, has the farm, but yeah, she does stuff. I mean, it's still, yeah. I'm sure she still does some feeding the chickens and pulling the hay. I'm sure. Well, obviously Brock's got a farm. We know that. I'd be curious to see what men superstars has a farm because, like I said, it's kind of interesting that some of the women do. But any surprise? Well, obviously, I kind of gave my big surprise name, Greg. Is Asuka your big surprise name, or is there somebody else you're thinking out there?
now, Ronda was who I was saving for the big surprise.
Yeah,
because I've been hearing those rumblings too. There's been talk about her really getting back into training, and it wouldn't be in the UFC because it would have gotten out by now if she was really training to come back to fight. So she's training. I think she's training to come back to WWE really soon. And I agree with you. If she is in the Rumble, she's going to win the Rumble. So I do think she is going to be a huge. That's going to be a huge moment if her music hits and she comes, power walking out there.
especially if it's 30, she doesn't need to do much probably at that rate, so you can
Right.
still give her a little more time. Even though I think she wants to be back in ring, I don't think she'd want to do it half-assed. I think she'd want to be, but 20. I thought 27 is I think it's the number of victories have come from 27 is the most. So she could be, that 27, 28, 29, get some ring rust out of the way. And
Yeah.
it just seems like there's a lot of smoke there. And how about this? So here's a side bet: does Natalia and Summer Rae get a little program heading into Mania, because they've kind of been building that up on the side?
True.
Or do you think this is just for the Rumble?
It would be a good WrestleMania kind of kickoff match thing, so you can play up the rivalry a little bit and give it some juice, and then it's kind of a pre-show match. I can see something like that. And
Or
then
if
as far
Summer
as
Rae wants,
Asuka, I still want to see her in there.
yeah, yeah,
So she would be a great entrant 25 through 30, and if she's in it, then I can see her taking maybe Lita out of the mix and putting her in there in
yeah.
that final four. So
So Dan's been asking who's the bigger girl that's been kicking ass lately. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Dewdrop. Let me bring up a picture and make sure if this is who you're. Oops, wrong way. I got all this. Let's see if. So hopefully this is. I'm guessing this is the girl. If Dan's watching, that I'm kind of pointing to Dewdrop. I'm guessing is who you're thinking of, because she's a bigger girl, and she's been kicking ass lately. So.
yeah,
I like to see. I mean, I don't think she shows up in the Rumble, do we? Do you think she shows up?
Dewdrop, no.
Yeah,
If she loses, that's it. That's her night.
that's kind
But
of her night. Yeah. So, I was trying to think. What about the Bella twins? Do you think Nikki gets a little run? Because I feel like Nikki's always shown, a little more in the ring. Or do you think Nikki? They're just there, kind of get that quick pop, and they get eliminated kind of quick and move on.
no, I could definitely see Nikki winning. Uh, Nikki was a lot more of the legit wrestler between the two twins,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a great run when she was champion.
Yeah.
She was strong. She had you know good looking matches. She had a believable finisher. Um, and she would be a matchup that we haven't seen before, whether you put her in there with Becky or Charlotte. Um, because I think their eras, cross, but
Yeah.
really didn't come into contact with each other.
Yeah.
So it would be a fresh match, and there's a lot you could play with that. So I can definitely see her as a dark horse winner, not just Final Four. I can see her winning the whole thing. Um,
And how about Rhea and Nikki? Do you think they eliminate each other? I think that could be the old, because I miss the old school like Royal Rumble feuds where one eliminates the other, the other comes back in, takes out that person because there's no disqualification. So do you
right.
think we see that kind of happening, or somehow costing each other in the match to kind of build that going?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense that Rhea would throw out Nikki, and then because Nikki's been getting the upper hand on all the
Mm-hmm.
all the
Yeah,
Raws,
yeah,
and then after Nikki gets eliminated, she comes and costs Rhea getting thrown out, and then you have a big gimmick match blow off to finish the rivalry.
and then I would assume Raquel Gonzalez probably NXT entrant. What about Io? I'm still wondering about Io. Do you think
That would
Io
be cool.
makes? Did she show up last year? I think she was in or was it 2 years ago? She was in one of them. I feel like it
I think
felt
it was two
like.
years ago during the NXT invasion
Okay.
that she
Yeah.
was a part of it.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well, let's get to the men's side, because this one, this one is just about as wide open, right? I mean, even though right now, Greg, your guy Finn is not involved. I mean, is that somebody we should be a watch? I mean, he's not going to win, but anyway. So I'll give my final four because you went first on the other one. I'm going to go AJ Styles. I'm going to
mhm.
say Edge finds his way into there, Greg. I'm going to go Big E and Brock. And I'm pulling the trigger on it, Greg. I think Brock's going to win it, because I don't. Because like we said, if we're trying to get to Roman and Brock, I mean, I hate giving the win to Brock because you could probably still get to there somehow. It might be convoluted, but you probably still get to there. It doesn't waste that spot. But at the same time, if Brock's going to lose to Lashley, you probably need to give Brock the Rumble match. So, and then I put Edge and AJ in there because I feel like they'll do the old school. Because we kind of saw what Edge's return. I think he eliminated AJ. So now I want to go opposite and maybe have AJ eliminate Edge and then build that up for WrestleMania. If we're not going to do Miz in Edge, I'd probably go Edge and AJ. And Big E, I feel like Big E needs something, Greg. So
Yeah.
Big E being like the final two, I mean, I hate him getting eliminated by Brock, but if he comes in like first 10 and just, really has a good run, then gets eliminated by Brock, I mean, I'm not pouring out my 40 yet, but it is on ice. you know me.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to say Brock wins it, and Big E, Edge, and AJ Styles are my final four. I really like to see AJ get some sort of. I've seen some people go with AJ winning, and that is intriguing. But I just don't have any faith in WWE to put him in, that type of role. I mean, what more? It would really cap him off. Maybe Money in the Bank win or this. That's really all he's got left, to accomplish. Wait, has he won the IC title?
I didn't think he
I
had.
thought they said Grand Slam champion, but maybe not. So maybe, that could be something to think about too. But yeah, so that's what I got. Then we'll get maybe some surprises because I really can't think of any. So I'm going to have to wait while you talk, Greg, and think of surprises. But have at it.
All right. Final four. I like the Big E for sure. That's why we're not tipping the 40 for E. He still makes a strong showing right here. I'm with you on the whole. Whoever loses Lashley and Lesnar ending up back in this match. And for that reason, I'm going to put Lashley back in the mix.
Okay.
So that's two, and then you have the whole storyline with Big E and Lashley, and E taking the belt off Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
So that's two. I like. It's hard to say Edge because I see him winning, so I don't see him back in the Rumble. Almost definitely. Like I say, he's going to have that Kane role, so yeah, I can put him into that final four. And then I'm going to take my surprise and put him in here too. And that's going to be Gunther.
Oh, okay.
You're going
to pull that trigger.
Yeah, as well.
That's a big that's a big dark horse.
Huge dark horse. And
now if he goes at the end, like 27, 20, why not?
Yeah, I mean, give him the whole entrance, the whole wall entrance. Don't change a thing about him. Already done enough damage with the whole name thing, but this is a way to put him over big, and prep his move to the main roster.
Yeah,
and people are still. He's been the biggest talk of wrestling in the aside from Moxley. He's been the biggest talk in the wrestling world over this past week since the Roderick Strong match, and there's so much buzz around him. I don't see why WWE would not decide to capitalize on it. And if you want to get the Gunther name over, what better spot to do it than in the Rumble? Put him in as the Final Four contender, and really showcase him. Do it. If you're gonna do it big, and do it right here in the Rumble where the world can see it, and really get behind Gunther. If you want to put over the name, put him over as big as you can. This is the spot. So I'm going to go ahead and call my shot. Put Gunther in the final four. So you'll have him, Big E, Lashley, and Omos, like 4 Titans in there.
Mhm.
And then as far as the winner, why not go with Gunther? Go
Okay.
ahead, put him all the way over. We know what he can do. We saw his matches in NXT UK. We know the guy's a killer. And you put him up face to face with either champion, and you're going to have a, holy crap moment.
Yeah.
So, we're all about those moments. So why not, put him over big and give him that moment? Because, he's ruled UK and he's put the time in, he's earned it.
And probably doesn't need to be in. I mean, NXT, I think he's going to be down there, just like you said, to reestablish this new name. And I'll give WWE, NXT credit. They had a nice promo for him last night. That that little vignette where he talked about the name and saying it's a new start. So I'm like, I know people could still be bad about it, but at least they tried to back it up a little bit. Oh well, they probably almost doubled down with it, but at the same time, I like that better than him just trying to get it over on his own, with a promo in the ring, because who knows if you start getting the Walter chance. So at least you have that vignette. You could play that a couple more times if you need to and let that play out. I'm trying to think, surprise-wise, like, the big one for me is, I know I've brought him up, but if we're going to get Mickey James, why not put Moose, who's the current Impact champion, and kind of let him have some run in there? I don't think it happens, but, and then of course I'll go this is the pipest of pipe dreams, Greg, freaking Kenny Omega. I know it's not going to happen, but, that's the name I would try to throw out there. I mean, it'd be nice if you could try to get Moxley or Cody just because they have the WWE ties. But if you got Omega, he could just do this as a one-off and, say he was in WWE. I mean, he could check that off technically, even if he never comes back and does anything ever again. But that, like I said, that is my pipe dreams ever. So,
yeah, but if he gets in, how is he not going to win? I mean, everybody would riot if he ended up getting eliminated.
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends. That is the thing, too. Like, I wonder what kind of crossover. Like, that's even with Moose. Like, will he like, Mickey James has been a former WWE person. And if you put Moose in there, how much of the crossover is there? And that's probably not a lot. I've seen some people throw out Matt Cardona. He ain't stepping anywhere near. I mean, if the Iconics turn down a spot, Greg, I cannot see, Matt Cardona saying, okay. I mean, it's probably surprising that Mickey even said okay. There must have been a couple zeros on that check. But, and that's why, and then you hear the Iconics turn it down, which doesn't surprise me, at all. I mean, I'm glad that WWE kind of reached out. It does show they probably messed up. I mean, obviously they did, but at the same time, you're at least willing to say, hey, come get a paycheck for the Royal Rumble. And they turned that down. So, I guess the Moose, it's interesting because it'd be the both men and women's Impact champions. And that's why I went Moose route. But like you said, if Omega's in it, he probably needs to go far and kind of let him, be Kenny Omega. But I just almost do it just as his, hey, I'm in, I think he was in some dark match like Shotgun Saturday Night or some Velocity, but to say you were in the Rumble, mark it off the bucket, well, it's probably not a bucket list for him, but it's probably it could be a checklist, little checklist and, say he did it, I mean, it's like the Young Bucks, like give me them against New Day as a one-off somehow, but we'll never, so any surprise names to you, Greg, that could be kind of thrown out there as far as, Royal Rumble goes?
I was thinking about that. There's some, I'd love to see Moxley pop back in there. I'd love to see Nick Gage turn up in it, with his pizza cutter in hand and ready to slice some dudes up.
Yeah.
but I don't know if the WWE
WWE's
universe would
not.
be
Yeah, they're not
down
going
with all
down
that.
that route.
Um, and then it would be cool to see, like you said, Finn's not in it, but what a cool moment would be if the Demon turned up in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's like
you want to
fed up
get,
of Finn. Yeah,
yeah, you want to get some payback for that whole busted turnbuckle spot. This would be a moment to do it. Or, if those Wyndham promos are, are real,
yeah.
this would be a great moment to reintroduce him.
Mhm.
Uh, and I don't know if he's bringing back the Fiend character or, the burlap sack
Yeah.
character from The Strangers, as it looks like, um,
Sam.
something like that. But that would be a super cool moment, and so something like that. And I don't know if it's not like you weren't too convinced that those Wyndham promos
I was
are
not
actually
convinced at
him.
all. I felt like that was just some person throwing them out there. But hey, if it gets that person traction, and of course we didn't even bring up Alexa, Greg. Does she show up in the women's rumble?
Mm, I don't think so because
It feels
the
more like they're
program
just
is
yeah, they're more booking her for a Raw return somehow.
right, and she's got a few more sessions to go before she reaches the end of the rope. But it would be cool to see her in it, but
Yeah.
I don't think she will be.
Well, and then we get to I let you there, Greg, just in case you had it. We got our last call. If you had anything to throw out there, if not, we'll wrap up shop and get ready for some beach break tonight.
I
Oh,
do have one last thing.
I don't know why we're having connection issues tonight. Uh-oh. There you are. Okay. It did that on my end too. It started spinning and I was like, oh no. Like my Wi-Fi, I know. I'm like, I'm pretty close. So did you have any last call, Greg, for us to end the show on?
I do.
Okay.
I tuned in for the World on GCW,
Yeah. How about
and
that?
did you watch it?
I did, and yeah.
Holy crap! That match with Matt Cardona and Joey Janela.
Yeah, they had a lot of
Holy
stuff
crap!
happening.
That
Is
was
that holy
everything.
now is this
I
holy crap in a good way or a bad way? Because I might be going the other way, Greg.
no, I loved it so much. That was everything I didn't
Yeah,
know I always wanted.
that's
It
true.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You're not feeling it, huh?
I mean, now that and okay, so I'll have to give the side note. I might have just, kind of been falling asleep throughout it because, I was just laying down and I kind of woke up in and out of it. So I will say the whole, what was it? Kurt Hawkins or Brian Myers showing up Edge esque. That's a nice
Uh-huh.
little callback.
Yeah.
What Swoggle was there?
Yep.
Who else was there?
The whole Chelsea Green,
Yeah,
the angle they set up to begin with them just getting married and then him doing his podcast and getting a secret package, and he opens
yeah.
it and there's a bunch of pictures
The
of
pictures, yeah.
Chelsea by the pool with Joey
Which is
Janela
like,
cheesing in the background.
and that harkens back to the '92 with Ric Flair and Macho Man. Remember when they were
Right.
saying, "Oh, Elizabeth"? So I did like that aspect.
Yep.
Enter Sandman, like coming out to that,
Right.
but then saying, "F off Foley," and I'm like, really, like,
No, that was Bully Ray. F
oh, I
Bully
thought it said
Ray.
Foley. I thought it said Foley. No,
Oh,
on
his
Zack
ring
Ryder.
jackets had
Yes,
said F
yeah.
Mick Foley. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. The Bully
Um,
Ray thing, I don't care, and I'm glad that happened. Like but
yeah,
the
that was
Foley
cool.
aspect, I was like, I get getting heat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I just couldn't buy that because he loves Foley. Like, I mean, whatever. But,
Yeah, but
and
uh,
then
uh,
I was a little disappointed at the end. I mean, I know I kept begging for FTR to show up because that's what's been brewing. It's the Briscoes. But now that the Briscoes have lost those titles, does that open up them to come to AEW? and show up there. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know who the Matt Tremont guy is, but a lot of people were excited about him. And so I guess, and
Okay.
it made sense for Nick Gage because he has all the history of it.
Sure.
And I see why. The Moxley match was kind of, I mean, It felt
Yeah.
like a sudden. It felt like a sudden finish.
Yeah. Exactly. I was enjoying the match, and then the finish, I was like, "What? What happened
Yeah.
there?" And
I felt like they. I don't know if they because of course it's on pay per view, so maybe they're such a dead hard line or hard cutoff. Maybe the other stuff ran like I'm guessing the Cardona Janela match probably ran over,
ran long.
so
Yeah.
that probably kind of threw off things. But I thought the finish was kind of out of nowhere, and even the Briscoes and Gage and Tremont really didn't have all the blood and guts. It felt like it could have. There
Right.
was some but it's a nice little you know it's a good moment for him to get. I think, like I said, I almost wonder if it frees up the Briscoes now to show up at AEW. I'm trying to think of FTR. I don't think they're scheduled for tonight, but that could be your big beach reg moment. Kind of having Briscoe show up there and taking out FTR. So I
Right.
see. I'm kind of okay with them losing. But it's weird that they closed the night with that because it wasn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like overall, Greg. To me, the hype was up here, and it
Yeah.
was maybe about here. I don't
Right.
know that.
And
Maybe
the
I
other,
go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you have. I've been rambling too much.
I agree with you. I was hoping for more than I got, and I know with the being in the Hammerstein that there was a huge buzz about it. Mox coming back, having like his second match after getting out of recovery,
Yeah,
um, and all the hoopla that went around it. The match that I watched a couple months ago, where it ended with Gage versus Moxley, was a better card top to bottom than what I watched on Saturday night. So I was a little disappointed, but it was still good. Like I said, that match with Cardona and really did it for me. I love that match so much. The little swerve in the middle with Chelsea Green looking like
yes,
she turned on her husband and then
yeah.
uh,
He falls off the
catching
cup.
Janela off guard. Yeah, that was great. That was good creative stuff right there. Um, so the way they presented that whole match just killed me, and so loved it. So that was the put a match like that as a 5-star match. That was for the comedy aspect, for the creativity aspect, for
Mhm.
you know everything. That was. I have to put that in my top 5 matches of the year so far.
Yeah,
We have not through January yet, but that's
yeah,
that's definitely in my top 5 now.
yeah.
Um, but so yeah, if you haven't watched that and you're curious about the GCW show, definitely skip the first 2 matches. They were a hot mess, but start with the Cardona and Janela match and add in the Jeff Jarrett Effie match with it. And
Yeah. And that was another
those,
thing. I'm like, Jeff Jarrett's winning a freaking match in 2022, Greg. Like, come
yeah,
on.
but the Last
Uh,
Outlaw, man, I like the new gimmick. It's
yeah,
pretty
if it's
cool.
like I get like if it's his last run, okay, maybe going out here and there, and maybe Effie overcomes him at the next, some final show of
Right.
Jarrett, and is given they pass the torch. Maybe he's given the guitar type deal. So, and Ruby and
Mhm.
Alley was pretty good, but even that felt like a quick. I don't know. There was
Yeah.
something off about it, and they both wanted that match so bad. But yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about the Effie and Jarrett match, but now I remember it, Greg. So thank you for cogging the memory of Jeff Jarrett 1-0 in 2022, which who would have ever, who could have predicted? Maybe Rick Boog can beat him on SmackDown sometime.
Exactly.
um, anything else you got for the good of the show?
No, that's the big one. Like I said, once we get to, I guess we're doing Sunday for the
Yeah,
rest of the
let's
week
shoot for
breakdown.
Sunday. Let's we can do a catch up on stuff. Then that way, sometimes I feel bad because we get by next Saturday, the Rumble's probably already forgotten. So
Yeah.
if we catch up on Sunday and we can catch on Beach Break and Rampage, and SmackDown, SmackDown I'm not that worried about because we got the Rumble. Like so we'll get you caught up. We'll do a special Sunday show this week for you guys. What noon? Would high noon work? Or what time do you need to?
Yeah, we probably need to start about 11. So I
11. Okay,
get
we can do
a
11.
full 2 hour treatment in before I have to
Yeah.
still have to
Okay.
work that day.
Yeah, we
So
could do 11. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll
Sunday,
do
Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday. We'll get you another why not special edition. Sometimes we get some good little in and out from Facebook too. So something to think, because we'll have to think about getting in WrestleMania. That's a Saturday and a Sunday show. So yeah, we'll have a lot of talk. I guess we could still do Saturday then, and kind of get caught up on both. But anyways, looking ahead, we got a lot to talk about coming up because this year's WrestleMania, it's pretty wide open so far. Like this
Yeah.
Rumble will be telling to kind of see where things are headed. But if if different things happen in different matches, we could be on a completely different road. So, yeah, well, that's all we got for tonight. Glad we could catch up. Tomorrow, I'll be recording with the associate producer of The Wrestler in 350 days.
Nice.
So we'll talk that up, and that's going to be recorded for you. So I'll let you know when that's available for you guys. Interested to talk to Evan. Oh God, now I'm going to forget his name. Where's he at? Evan. Oh, and I got to put up the odds for the good old Royal Rumble. So we'll get that. Evan Ginsberg will be associate producer of The Wrestler in 350 Days, starring Bret Hart. So this documentary goes along with some old school wrestlers and talks about wrestling 350 days for you. So speaking of which, Greg, I got your kind of fun factoid. I was talking about Tubi, and I watched the Ska documentary. So Goldfinger was on there, Greg, and they hold the record for shows played in a year of 368.
Really?
Which is
Wow.
crazy to think. Yeah, because 365 days in a year. Somehow they pulled a couple different shows. I think it was towards the end of the year too. They did a couple shows so they could get that record of most shows ever in a year. I don't think it's been broken. So yeah, there's your fun factoid of
Nobody wants to break it.
probably not. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would take, that'd be a lot to play. So, especially if you even took off if you took off a day and had to get caught up. So that's a lot of touring for Goldfinger back, I want to say mid 90s, right when ska was kind of in its third wave, second or third wave, whatever wave it was. But anyways, so yeah, it's really fun. It's called Picking Up the Story of Ska. It was a really cool little documentary. That was my documentary on Tubi. And I still need to watch Brightburn. That is still on my list to watch, Greg. So
Hey, do it.
you got to keep bugging me to watch that. So, but tomorrow night should be fun to do a little talking with Evan Ginsberg and see what he's all about. And yeah, but we're ready to rumble, as they say. And Michael Buffer, we'll get Michael Buffer to get us out of here. Why not hear it one more time?
There's only one thing left to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
It just makes me think, Greg, we need
Let's go.
We need a Ready to Rumble 2. Come on, get on it. What was his name? Now I'm blanking on the name. Who was in Ready to Rumble? Oh, Arquette, David Arquette.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Yeah, as long as he's not in it.
And the King, I'll rule you. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us. Catch you on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe we could have Brittany join us for that. I'll tell her that we're going then. I think she's available on the weekends. I think. I'll have to
Perfect.
check with her. So, and I'm sure Big Ben can get in the chat if he sees us available. And yeah, good times. So enjoy Beach Break, enjoy the Rumble, enjoy the rest of the week.